Ladies and gentlemen, Brian the Beer Snob.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hard Pork Pub. I've got an interesting video for you today. It's not going to be a standard review because I've already reviewed one of the beers that I'm going to be having today, but I am going to have a new beer that I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison. And the reason I'm going to be doing that is because I reviewed not that long ago the Sweetwater Brewing Company's H.A.Z.Y IPA. It's a great beer. I loved it. But I just took a flight. I had to fly to Omaha. My uncle passed away a couple weeks ago, and I had to go up there for the funeral. So while I was on the plane flying to Omaha, the flight attendant handed me one of these. This is a Sweet Water Brewing Company H.A.Z.Y IPA Elevated. So I'm like, well, what does that even mean, elevated? It's like got a picture of a Delta airplane on it, and apparently you can only get this beer at 35,000 feet. You have to be flying on Delta to even get this beer, not sold in stores. So, what it says on the back, I didn't know anything about this, so I'm just going to read it to you. It says, Sweetwater H.A.Z.Y IPA Elevated is brewed for high altitudes. Did you know the sensitivity of your taste buds reduces with altitude? I didn't know. It's why we elevated our acclaimed H.A.Z.Y IPA recipe together with Delta Airlines, brewed specifically to be enjoyed on a Delta flight at 35,000 feet. This double dry hop of Mosaic, Citra, Eldorado, and Azacca creates even more enhanced aromas of mango, stone fruit, lime, and pine. Just as tasty in the clouds as the original Sweetwater H.A.Z.Y IPA is on the ground. So, it's my interpretation of this, that if your taste buds are less sensitive at altitude, what they've done is they've brewed this to be more tasty so that it's going to taste like this that you drank on the ground, but you're going to be drinking it at altitude where your taste buds aren't as sensitive. So how do we even know this is true? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this side by side, and I'm going to taste it. Now, I'm not at 35,000 feet. I'm in Atlanta. We're approximately 1,000 feet above sea level. So when I taste this and this one should taste more, right? I mean, that's the way I'm getting it. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2 glasses out here. Pour the original Sweetwater H.A.Z.Y IPA. Love the sound. Alright, and this is going to be the Delta Airlines branded Sweetwater H.A.Z.Y IPA Elevated. I can tell you right now that the head is a different color. This head is pure white. This one is like a milky looking. It's darker. So some people were speculating, did they just use this and they just branded it like that to be available on Delta flights? Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm looking at them side by side. They don't look the same in the head anyway. Let's see what it looks like. The Elevated seems to be a little bit darker, but let me top these off. Now they said that it had been reformulated to give it enhance the aroma and everything. It didn't mention, well, does your sense of smell decrease at altitude too? So let me give them a sniff and see what they smell like. This is the regular H.A.Z.Y IPA. It smells delicious. Now the Elevated H.A.Z.Y IPA. It does have more aroma. It's a very similar aroma. There just seems to be more of it. So they're truthful about that. Lastly, let's get this thing in my belly and see if it actually tastes different. The regular one first. Cheers. That's a good beer. So, this one, specially formulated to make it more flavorful, so that 35,000 feet, your taste buds will, you're supposed to taste this exact flavor. But if it's more at 35,000 feet, it should be way more down here on the ground. So here goes the Elevated H.A.Z.Y IPA. Cheers. Got to go in for sip number 2 here. There is something different. Is it more flavor? It's hard to say. We go in for sip number 3. This is the last one, I promise. Okay, final sip for the H.A.Z.Y IPA Elevated. Yeah, it does have more flavor. They're both fantastic beers. This one, like I said, I'll show you a close-up of the can here at the end of the video, but this one is specifically brewed. It looks like a collaboration between Sweet Water Brewing Company and Delta Airlines. So there's a Delta Airlines airplane right here, and where it says H.A.Z.Y IPA, it says Elevated. So the only way you're going to get one of these is if you're on a Delta flight. I was, and I got 2 of them. I drank one on the plane, and then I put the other one in my carry-on so that I could bring it home, because I wanted to do a side-by-side comparison and see what was going on with this. And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, it does taste better. It's not the same beer. They didn't just take this beer and throw a different label on it and sell it as such. They did. It says they elevated their acclaimed H.A.Z.Y IPA recipe. So they stepped up the recipe. And they did, because, I say, looking at them, this one's a little bit lighter, this one's a little bit darker. The heads are different. Snow white head on the H.A.Z.Y IPA. This is more of a milky off-white color on the Elevated. And flavor-wise, they're both fantastic. This is a great tasting beer, and this one is a little bit more flavorful. Not a whole lot, but it's a little bit more. It's noticeable. It's a noticeable difference. So, good job, Sweetwater Brewing, and especially Delta Airlines, for coming together. This is a great concept. A beer that you can only get at 35,000 feet. I like it. I wonder when are the other airlines going to do this? Or were they doing it already and I just didn't fly on the other airlines? I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments, because I'd be interested. The only way you can get a beer is to fly on an airplane. Hey, that makes it one expensive beer, but you know what? I like it. So thanks for stopping by the Hard Pork Pub, my first side-by-side challenge. I do have one more of the H.A.Z.Y Elevated IPAs, and I think I'll do a blind taste test. Next time I get a guest reviewer over, I'm going to cover up the labels. I'm going to give it to them as a blind taste test and see if they think the same thing that I thought while I was looking at it. So, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Till then. Save the best one for last.